At the beginning, it seemed as though Devil Fruits were going to be the sole power system in One Piece, but they all changed when Haki was introduced. One Piece fans have met many Haki users over the years, but certain characters are far more skilled with it. The strongest Haki users seem to be able to use all three types of Haki, as well as their advanced applications. Observation Haki allows individuals to sense someone's presence, strength, and emotions. Some individuals can even see into the future with it. Armament Haki can harden a person's body and weapons, while Conqueror's Haki allows the user to exert their willpower onto others. Most of the strongest Haki users are pirates, but there are also a few powerful Haki users who are affiliated with the world government. Number 10. Katakuri possesses great observation and armament Haki. Katakuri is one of the three sweet commanders of the Big Mom Pirates, and he is Big Mom's third child. He can use all three types of Haki, but he specializes in observation and armament Haki. Katakuri can use his advanced observation Haki to see a few seconds into the future. As a result, he can detect and neutralize threats before they happen, and he can dodge attacks they would normally be impossible to avoid. Katakuri's armament Haki is just as potent, and he can combine it with his Mochi Mochi fruit. This devil fruit allows him to create and control Mochi. He can produce multiple Mochi arms and imbue them all with Haki. He can fashion his limb into weapons and imbue them with Haki as well. Katakuri's Haki mastery allowed him to overpower Gearpod Luffy with relative ease. Number 9. Rayleigh was the right-hand man of the Pirate King. Rayleigh was the right-hand man of the Gold D. Roger, the former Pirate King. He also taught Luffy how to use all three types of Haki. When Rayleigh was in his prime, he was one of the strongest pirates in the world. When the Roger pirates battled the Whitebeard pirate on an island in the Grand Line, Rayleigh used his Haki to stop Marco, a powerful mythical Zoan user with one Haki imbued finger. Rayleigh is now in his late 70s, so age has taken a toll on his overall strength, but he is still incredibly powerful. He can fight an admiral like Kizaru with Haki, and his Conqueror's Haki is strong enough to amass a young marine like Kobe. Even an Emperor of the Seas like Blackbeard was afraid to face Rayleigh's Haki in one-on-one confrontation. Number 8. Big Mom is arguably the strongest female pirate in history. Big Mom became a pirate when she was just a child, and she quickly amassed a huge bounty. She went on to become the only female emperor, which means she is arguably the strongest female character in One Piece. She can manipulate souls because of her soul fruit, but her Haki is just as powerful. She can use all three types of Haki, but Katakuri's observation Haki seems to be stronger. Her armament Haki is strong enough to block Luffy's Kongan attack, which was able to bypass the Haki immune defenses of Doflamingo and Katakuri. Big Mom can use advanced Conqueror's Haki to enhance her strength and durability, and it looks like black lightning when she uses it. Her Conqueror's Haki was able to split the heavens when she clashed with Kaido. Number 7. Garp's Haki is still overwhelming despite his age. Garp is Luffy's grandfather, but he's also one of the strongest Marines in history. He was one of the only Marines that Gold D. Roger wanted to fight. His observation Haki allows him to sense things that other Haki users cannot. While fighting the Blackbeard pirates, Garp was able to sense and intercept an attack from a master swordsman like Shiryu, who was invisible at the time. Garp demonstrated his armament haki during the Summit War, where he injured Marco with a single haki-infused punch. In his younger days, he was able to crush a Chinjiao's haki-enhanced drill-shaped head with his piece. Garp may be pushing 80, but his advanced Conqueror's haki is still dangerous. His Galaxy Impact attack combines advanced armament and Conqueror's haki, and it creates a shockwave that can level an island's infrastructure. Number 6. Kaido's haki was so strong that he was almost unbeatable. Kaido is the main villain in the Wano arc, and many consider him to be the world's strongest creature. He can use all three types of haki, as well as their advanced applications. Like Katakuri, Kaido can see a few seconds into the future with observation haki. This allows him to dodge Luffy's Gear 2 and Gear 4 attacks. His armament haki could injure Luffy's haki-infused arm. Kaido can also emit armament haki through his War Club. His Conqueror's haki can split the heavens when it clashes with another powerful fighter, and he can use it to enhance his immense strength and durability. By combining his armament and Conqueror's haki, Kaido can knock out opponents as strong as Luffy and Zoro in just a few hits. Number 5. Whitebeard was a monster in his prime. Even when Goldie Roger was alive, many believed that Whitebeard was the strongest man in the world. He possessed all three types of haki, and he had the power of Tremor Fruit. This Paramecia type Devil Fruit allowed him to create powerful shockwaves through any medium. He could create quick bubbles around his blade, and he could increase the power of those attacks even further by using advanced haki. Whitebeard could use advanced observation haki, but age and illness caused his senses to dull a bit. That being said, he could still predict one of Crocodile's attacks during the Summit War. His armament haki also weakened because of age, but he was still able to counteract the intangibility of Akainus Logia, which is something that even Ace and Jinbei could not do. His advanced Conqueror's haki allowed him to clash with Roger, but illness eventually took a toll on its effectiveness. Number 4. Luffy's advanced haki is empowered by his Devil Fruit. Luffy honed his haki skills during the 2-year time skip, and his skills have continued to improve. At first, Luffy could use observation haki to dodge a Pacifica's laser attacks with minimal effort. During the Wano arc, he learned to use its advanced application, so he can now see a few seconds into the future. His armament haki allows him to deliver powerful attacks, and he can enhance those attacks if he uses Gear 4. He can now emit armament haki at will, to the point that he can negate Logia intangibility. During the Fishman Island arc, Luffy knocked out 50,000 enemies with his Conqueror's haki, and he can now use its advanced application. By combining advanced Conqueror's haki and armament haki, he can deal significant damage to someone like Kaido. Luffy's Gear 5 form utilizes all three types of haki, and he can use this power to fight Emperor-level opponents.
四皇は二人も同時。
Number 3. The Five Elders all possess immense haki. As far as most of the world is concerned, the Five Elders are the world government's highest authorities. Most of them are quite old, but they are all incredibly strong, and they all seem to possess some type of mythical Zoan Devil Fruit. Most of the Five Elders can use observation haki, and they all possess immense Conqueror's haki. Even powerful fighters like Luffy, Jinbei, and Zoro felt uneasy when their hakis appeared. Each elder emits black lightning when using haki, which indicate that they can use its advanced application. Saint Eden Baron Venus Juro combined his haki with his double brute and managed to defeat every pacifistas on Egghead Island in a few minutes, and one of his slices split the lava face in two. Saint Topman War Curie can release an advanced Conqueror's Haki roar that is powerful enough to affect Luffy's Gear 5 body.
そんなに怖いか。新時代が。
Shanks can scare off admirals and negate observation haki with his advanced haki. Shanks grew up on Goldie Roger's ship as an apprentice and he is now the longest reigning emperor. He does not have a double brute power, but he is still feared. One of One Piece's most iconic moments is when he ends the Summit War by simply showing up. Shanks may have lost his left thumb, but he is still a deadly fighter, and his haki seems to be as potent as ever. His advanced observation haki allowed him to see Hyusta's Kid's attack and the damage that it would have caused. His armament haki was strong enough to block Akaino's magma fist, which had previously burned Jinbei, Ace, and Whitebeard. Shanks' Conqueror's haki is so great that it could have knocked out all 100,000 members of the New Fistman Pirates. His advanced Conqueror's haki allowed him to clash with Whitebeard, and he was able to defeat Kid and his entire crew with his single haki in Peace Slash. What sets Shanks apart from the other haki users is the fact that he can negate the observation haki of others with his Conqueror's haki. This advanced technique can also nullify observation haki's advanced application. Number 1. Roger could clash with the strongest pirates in history with just his haki. Roger was the first person to hold the Pirate King title. He did not have a double brute, but most pirates and marines feared him nonetheless. He could use all three types of haki, but the full extent of his observation haki is still unknown. That being said, it is safe to assume that he could see into the future. Roger wielded a saber called Ace, which happened to be one of the world's 12 supreme great blades, and he could imbue it with armament haki. He could also emit advanced armament haki from his blade. Roger's armament haki overpowered Kosugi Oden, and it could clash with Whitebeard's haki. Roger's Conqueror's haki could travel across an entire island, and he could enhance all of his attacks with its advanced application. With his haki, Roger was able to fight Prime Whitebeard without suffering any noticeable damage.